Well, I'm glad we've got the bean conversation out of the way early. That could have
I
really,
think
that
this
could
whole
have really,
podcast today should be about beans.
that could have really
Just the
derailed
beans.
us.
No.
This is the beans cast.
Bean
Yeah.
cast.
Do you give it the beans?
And
How do the beans
that's
make
it.
you feel?
All right, cool. I felt like there was something that we were going to talk about today, and I cannot remember what
Just
it was.
beans.
I have some news stuff, but is there anything else we were going to go into? I can't remember. I know we've got a game thing.
Other than your stolen idea,
Yeah.
but I did have something to say
Yeah,
in
cool.
regards to Overland builds and people that spend a lot of money on Overland builds. Something like a gripe.
Okay.
Yes.
That I have that I realized I had, and I didn't really. I knew I had it, but didn't think about it very seriously until just recently. You know how when you see somebody with their, let's say it's an LX 470 or a, whatever Gen 4Runner and things like that, and they've got, the typical stuff, they've got a bumper, they've got sliders, they've got a rear bumper, and none of those things show any rock rash at all.
Sure.
Yeah, there's no wear on
Does it make you guys as upset as it makes me? In like I see that and I think, okay, you didn't need that then.
Yeah,
if you have no rash on any of the equipment that is quote protection that you have put onto the vehicle, that tells me you didn't actually need it.
I started in that position, and so I have started to create some grace in my own looking at that, because I was always the same way. I was like, you're a mall crawler. You're just doing it for the cred and the hype and to spend money on your car. But I don't say that about someone who has a Pikes Peak looking build that goes to car shows with it. If you're building a race car that looks like a race car and you're taking it to a car show because that's the aesthetic that you think is cool, I'd never have been mad about that. If you showed up to, Cars and Coffee in a Formula One car that was made mostly street legal, and like you brought it to a car show because that's what you got, like I think that'd be cool. And so I've started to not be quite as upset about that, because I feel like it's the same thing as car show guys picking a theme and building a car around it. But I know that I am probably the only one here.
I don't think that's the same. No, that doesn't feel like the same thing.
I'm a little bit with Mike.
I'm a little more. Okay, you go, Sean. Sorry, you
thanks.
say your gripe, and then
thanks. I get the point, and I do agree to an extent, Colin, because I don't love it when someone builds something, that I think I would use, and it would be like this great thing, and then it doesn't appear that they're using it. There's a couple asterisks, like it could be new, whatever, and that's fine. I also don't love. I've gotten into the habit, and I've been preaching this for a lot of years now, I think, but I've gotten in the habit of not judging people based off of my wallet. So if they can afford that 200 with all the things on it and that's what they like, who am I to judge them? I don't really care. They can have that if that's what they want. It's that or a Brabus G-Wagon or something. At least it looks cool and that's what they want. So I think in that aspect, that's where Mike's right. If someone wants to build the coolest looking or even the lamest looking, but they think is cool 300 or, Range Rover or whatever thing it is, and they're never going to take it off road, that's on them. There's a gripe there, and I wish that they would use it, definitely. But I also most of the time what happens, honestly, is I need I neck break at it, right? And go, oh my God, look at that Lexus or whatever. And then I will barely fine tooth comb it because I'm just so oh, it's cool. It's on 35s and it's got this whatever, all this bar work or, stuff on it. And then I just kind of move on with my day. But not to say that you're wrong, because I understand the meaning. I just don't. I just don't get hung up on it anymore, I think.
And I was there.
I think to me, it's the there are the ones that are like that. I have seen you can tell the difference between the ones that are just I threw the checkbook at it to put X cool stuff on it, and then there's the ones that are Or I'm an overlander, blah, blah, blah. I've got my Max Trax and my rooftop tent and my shovel on my rack and this and that. And it's like, those are the ones, that they are actually, they got those things because they are, quote, overlanding or what have you.
Yeah.
But it still bugs me because it's like, you didn't need sliders. Like at all. They've never touched anything, so you didn't need those. You didn't need the high clearance rear bumper because you've never drug it across anything. Like my stock bumper has protected my car more than their $1,500 high clearance bumper.
So
what were you saying, Jesse?
The only thing I'm going to say for your side and Sean's side, Mike, is that I understand the statement of an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. So I get it if you are thinking about diving into that, you would rather have a slider when you are going to do it and then accidentally hit it than not. It's that need it, not, or have it and not need it rather than need it, not have it statement. But at the same time, a lot of these people are just posers. It's kind of what it feels like. And it's like what's happening now with like Carhartts and work gear. So I see these hipsters rolling around with dirty Carhartts that are ripped up. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. You've never picked up a hammer in a day in your life. Like you've never driven a nail.
It's a dangerous game though, Jesse, because
only night hammers.
You could be right. But also, I mean,
I could be wrong. That's just me being quick to judge. But that's why I keep my opinions to myself.
That's the move. Obviously, you're not going around telling people that they aren't working or whatever.
Hey, you! Take your Carhartts off, you dummy.
I get your point.
I need some Carhartt shorts.
I can make you a pair.
No, they sell them. I wear them for work.
Oh, well.
I saw I think it was on Reddit of all places. I saw someone that was, quote, overlanding with their new Tacoma and a rooftop tent. It was like the first time they'd used it or something. It was stock Tacoma, rooftop tent, nothing spectacular. But they were at, that viewpoint of Prineville Reservoir that you can get to from, you guys know exactly where I'm talking about, where that big bend is. Yep. Yeah. The guy was out there and he was like, oh, it's my first time out here. I had some trouble with my truck. Like something happened with his truck and people were like, oh man, you got to make sure that you're, or were you using low range? And the guy was like, no, I didn't use low range because I didn't think I had to. It's a normal road. And so, man, the commentary, I forget what the problem in the whole situation was. That was kind of like to the side, but the commentary after that about how he needed skid plates and how, you can't believe, people couldn't believe that he went down this road without armor and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that is a dirt road.
It's a dirt road. Yeah. Like he's parked next to a Subaru.
I could go 70 down many of those roads. So that's like the culture.
Everybody acts like you need all this shit.
Yeah. And so maybe that's the funny thing. Maybe they're not getting scratches and they're going down these roads and they think for whatever reason, because they've been convinced that that's what they're supposed to do, which is, I think wrong. But again, it is whatever. And,
there's full expos telling them that they need to buy all that.
Or have it not need it.
Yeah, there's full Overland expos that say if you take your Tacoma and you don't look like this, nobody's going to give you, take you seriously.
Overland Expo says?
Yeah,
the whole thing.
It's on the banner out front.
Yeah, your Tacoma sucks unless you buy everything in here.
That's funny. That's a great transition because Expo West was just this last weekend.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the stuff from it yet.
Oh, I was going to show you one thing that I thought was
cool.
Wow,
great.
One thing.
There were many vehicles with portals, which is neat because that's super popular.
I
want portals to become so popular that used ones start to get cheap.
Hey, well, they actually lowered 74 lowered their overall price because they found a cheaper manufacturing method, which that doesn't happen very often. Wow. That's pretty cool. They're still expensive, but
I was going to say, how much is
cheaper? $3,000.
$3,000 off of what they were.
$3,000 off of 20.
Yeah, but that's a huge amount. I mean, think about any product that you take that much off of. That's insane. They're way too expensive, but that's
still
what they
can't afford them.
There was one of these, which is a Ursa Minor top for a Bronco. Kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did.
I've never seen this. This like just came up. It looks like an Ursa Minor. It's kind of ugly, but and I'm sure the sleeping space isn't huge, but it's cool. What a neat,
I'd like to.
I bet it's bigger than the Jeep sleeping space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the roof size difference is. It's got to be a little wider.
It's wider for sure. Yeah.
I've always thought that, man, those could look a little nicer. And then I look at the price and versus what everybody else is charging for other things like that. And I'm like, actually, they're doing a really good job keeping the cost down.
Yeah,
That's the big thing.
They're a relatively inexpensive option for what they are.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, cool thing. There were other things obviously at Expo, but that was the thing that just caught my attention. There was a bunch of stuff that we've already seen and a bunch of rooftop tents that are like, oh, cool, this one's hard-sided and this one's white. I don't really know what other innovations there were on that, but
that's the most important thing. You got to have a white tent. Otherwise, I don't understand. The rooftop tent game has gotten to the point where it's like the differences between models are color. And does we got two fabrics instead of one fabric.
Yeah.
We had one fabric before, now we have two of them. And like it's a
bit of a stale market just because the design, I don't know how much innovation. There's definitely innovation left somewhere, but what is it? I don't know. Like there's X hinges, there's double fold things. That's it's kind of it. Make it lighter, make it more insulated, make it less insulated, whatever. There's like those people are just playing around with the options at this point.
Yeah.
Other news stuff that I found, there's an article on The Drive right now that is it's speculation, wild speculation, which is our favorite thing.
That's basically what this podcast is built
Where's the sounder?
Yeah. It's game over for everyone else if Toyota finally sells a compact pickup in the US, and the speculation is off of the new RAV4 hybrid, which is like an update. It's I don't know if you saw pictures of it, but I think it looks good. I don't know if it's that much better than the old one looks wise, but it's good. Updated interior and some but the same basic underpinnings, I'm pretty sure. But they were talking about Toyota maybe trying to come in with a Maverick Santa Cruz Ridgeline competitor that would be like a unibody type thing, not built on the truck platform, and how good they might be at it because Toyota generally tends to sell things, fairly well. So, and they would be leg up with powertrain on some of those. So the Santa Cruz does not sell well, which they put a note in here. The 32,000 pickups in 2024, and Honda only has 45,000 Ridgelines in 2024 that they sold as well. So, but the Maverick is 131,000, so quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's the Santa Cruz. There's a lot of like cross comparison between those and the Maverick, and I watched a bunch of them because I was interested in getting a Maverick for a little while. And objectively, in like most camps, the Santa Cruz is better, but it looks goofy.
Well, actually, that's
and
funny.
Everybody's like, but it looks goofy.
The point that they're making there is that Hyundai and Honda don't sell trucks to truck people because people don't see them as trucks, but people buy Mavericks because it's a truck. Even though, like you're saying, maybe the Santa Cruz is better. I certainly think that the Maverick looks a little better, but
like every metric.
Yeah,
only people who can make
more power.
Only people who can make trucks are America and Japan.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. And Japan has to make their trucks in America, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah. So what's funny, Sean, that you bring this up is I did run across a article that I have not dug deeper into it, so I completely believe it's speculation, but it sounds like the Hilux will be released in the United States.
Didn't Mike bring this up last time?
We brought this up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Previous podcast.
I still don't. I think that's just speculation based on
hasn't aired.
Yeah, it's speculation based on tariffs.
Full joke.
Yeah.
So that's when I first saw it, I was like, this has got to be just some sort of joke. This is a trolling.
They're just going after you specifically.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to listen to the episode because we talk about your opinion on it.
Oh, you talk about my opinion?
Yeah.
My opinion right now is I don't believe it's true.
There you go.
And because why would Toyota release a Hilux in the United States that can compete with the Tacoma? There's no
Because
point.
there won't be a Tacoma anymore.
Yeah, it would be a replacement.
Are they going to call it a pickup?
No, they'll call it a Hilux.
They'll probably call it a Hilux.
For the first time no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, if anybody's planning on doing that, Toyota's the only one that can, though. Because all the Toyota Tacoma bros would be stoked about the fact that the next one's a Hilux. All the people
until they got into one and realized how bare bones it is compared to their Tacoma.
Yeah, and then they buy their Tacomas back. So basically, they're selling 2 trucks at once.
Yeah. It might be a play by Toyota. It might be real. It might be real. Might be fake. I don't know.
In reality, the real thing they should do is do that real cheap truck that everybody's been talking about.
Nobody will buy it. That's the thing.
No, not the Slate.
Americans won't buy it.
Oh, you're talking about the $20,000 like three-quarter ton truck. Okay.
I don't know. I think it maybe weighs 3/4 of a ton.
1/4 ton truck. Yeah.
I was just showing you guys a picture of the new RAV4. They made a GR version. That's the classy looking one over here.
I like
that. It's pretty sweet, right? I liked the outgoing one too. The 4Runner. So it does look better than the 4Runner. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Even this like Outback one over here looks better than the 4Runner.
It's not hard to look better than a 4Runner.
I will say I think Mike is going to say the exact thing or the exact opposite of what I'm going to say. When I see them in person, they're better. They just blend in and they're better. But every time I see a picture, like they just released this blue color across the whole TRD Pro line, and the like thumbnail for the newsroom thing was the 4Runner, and I was like, Jesus, that's bad.
Yeah, even when I see them in person, I don't like them.
The only thing that I'll say, there's like they all look kind of like coupes at a first glance. Have you or 2-doors? Have you noticed that?
Well, yeah, they just look weird proportion.
There's something about the height of the back door, which I understand the styling to the like 2nd gen 4Runner or whatever, like that kind of makes sense in a design language way, but it just doesn't work super well.
There's 2 angles that it looks good from, and I can't remember where they are each time I walk by.
Just straight on.
So I walk around it and go, oh, okay,
Maybe it's just because, to the other side. And I could be wrong in this, but maybe it's just because I perceive it as like the 4Runner is moving from a utilitarian vehicle to a toaster oven. It's an appliance. Whereas, when we think of 4Runners between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gen, they were very much off-road, like capable, durable vehicles. And then you hit 4th and 5th, and they're just kind of like a fancy appliance that looks like it can go off-road.
Well, they're just as capable. I mean, think about it. A 4th gen one has a V8, and full-time is not like necessarily a great off-road thing in general, but like they still have had lockers available all the way through, all those things. Like you could probably they are less sparse though, for sure. You're 100% right. But the whole Toyota line is too.
The
and so
attempt to be a luxury.
Like, well, they went after the moms.
The whole Ford line is too.
Exactly,
right?
Mike.
Soccer mom is a category of buyer that
buys.
That seems to have a lot of cross shopping with SUV dads that they steer them towards the 4Runner so that we can go put our whittle ladder on it, but then my wife can drive it all week to pick the kids up or do whatever, because I can understand that combination. Haley likes her car, but I always try and say, well, it'd be really cool if we had this one and it would do all the things you wanted, but if you got that one, it would have a little more horsepower or what? Yeah. And so I can understand how that, like trying to get both of them. 4Runner.
Yeah.
And it's so overrated.
It is still the most overrated.
We should do a podcast about that.
What, we just talk trash about 4Runners?
Every other episode.
Yeah.
It's
an underlying theme.
Yeah, no kidding. Those are the only news things that I had.
Along with our mid-sized truck.
I did have one more news thing. And this is also speculation that I did not look into deeper. It was
speculation again.
It was an internet thing on social media. It was Tesla's now accepting their Cybertrucks as a trade-in, and they're giving them bananas low prices. Like I'm talking like $35K for a 6,000 mile truck.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's what.
You're surprised by that?
That Tesla would offer such a low amount of money to buy those cars back? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think.
Do you not know Elon Musk and his history of what he does?
They think that they're worth so much money that they rarely take trade-ins. So,
no, that wasn't why they were rarely taking the trade-ins. It was because they
knew
shit. They were piles of shit.
They don't allow purchase after lease, though. So that's interesting.
Yeah, they don't.
Again, that could be complete speculation. It just was a hilarious fact that I read. I was like, oh, that's terrible. Congratulations. You made a horrible mistake and now it's getting worse.
Well, speaking of horrible mistakes from terrible companies that are now getting worse, Earth Cruiser's back.
They never left.
Yeah, but they did. They shut down everything and they closed their doors and their website made a weird 404 not found. And then now they're trying to make this huge media push that they've come back with an attempt to make a slide-in camper for your pickup, and they're trying to make what they're calling less aggressive or whatever. I don't know how they wanted to word it, but they're not building these huge giant RVs that can kind of off-road. They're gonna make more accessible things, and then you look at their more accessible things, and they've got a fiberglass slide-in camper for $40,000, and you're like, no, I don't think you read what accessible meant.
They're just more accessible. They're just building the shells. Yeah, basically, they're not going to build an entire rig. So, shells for putting on the back of your truck, shells for getting rid of your bed and putting on the back of your truck, and slide-ins, and which isn't surprising because
that's the part they were doing.
Building a composite shell is they've got all that stuff.
Yeah.
So simpler.
Yeah. But it's still I was just looking at their pricing stuff and the way they were talking versus the things actually costing what they cost. And I'm like, all right. Well,
I mean, they're still built out.
Yeah.
Right? They're not empty. They're not just the shell.
I think
slate.
I think you can get less though. I think it's more instead of getting this tile floored, super fancy bamboo walls and stuff, you can get more basic amenities and build them out more or less. But it just seemed funny the way that they were. The news, the local news had a comeback story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, interesting. And they were very plucky, and these guys are really making it work, and they're going to, start working for the,
I skimmed the article and I didn't find anything that stood out for me enough to dig deeper. It is an odd thing. So the sliding camper thing they were working on before they closed down, that was a thing. Yep. And I think that most of those campers and the Terra Nova trucks didn't necessarily have the fanciest of interiors. And the thing that I've always what's the right word here? I guess liked about an Earth Cruiser is the boat type stuff, right? They use a lot of marine interior stuff, like a yacht. Yacht being the wrong term for what you're thinking, but big boat, right? Just big boat
comes
storage
boat
and
shoes,
stuff.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Comes with
built-in storage and floor with drainage and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting, and it's always been that way to me. But they're a $40,000 Ranger sliding camper. I don't know. There is a market for it, and that's fine. Yeah, this is not the market that I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, I've been in one from a person that used it. I was dating a girl when I was in the Marine Corps still, that her dad had one, and it was $290,000 on an F450 or 550 chassis, and it was.
How'd you get how? They weren't doing that back then. They were Fuso only.
Fuso only
until they had the shortage of they couldn't get Fusos imported, and that's when they started putting them on the backs of the 450s and stuff, which didn't work because Earth Cruiser or Earth Roamer, I should say.
Roamer, that's what I was
already a thing.
Okay, that's what when I'm judging the interiors based. Because the Earth Roamer, that's what I was talking about. It was I walked in there and it was granite countertops.
Yeah, those are
and
beautiful RVs.
Butcher block. So that was the roamer then, not the cruiser guys.
Different thing.
Got it.
Not to say that the Earth cruisers were that much behind that, because I have been in them, because I actually interviewed there at one point.
Oh, I remember.
And so I went into it. It's
They're nice.
way fancier than anything I would camp in. I mean,
Right.
I would camp in it. I'm like that I would purchase to camp in, but not. That's a different level.
It's a different market.
It's a vehicle that costs your house.
Yeah.
So,
which is wild.
Yeah.
But again, like Sean said earlier, not judging other people's stuff by my wallet. My wallet would just trip on the way into that store and laugh at me as it rolled out.
Yeah, well, such is life. I looked up the Tesla thing because I want to give the correct information. I also want to start with I really don't like this company, and this person is fucking terrible. So sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
But
oh no, we lost listener.
Oh no,
both of them.
Yeah, Elon Stahn's listening.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I can see where you got your numbers, Jesse, because the value of it dropped by 36% or something like that is what the number is. So there was a guy on the forum that basically asked for a trade-in estimate on his. This is where all this info comes from. And he went to trade it in, 62,000 miles on his Cybertruck. Trade-in estimate was 65,400. And the point of the article that I love is not so much that it's gone down 30-something% in value, which is pretty bad, but not like the worst ever. It's just not great, right? We all know trade-in value sucks.
I mean, it's almost worse than a Land Rover.
That's Land Rover range.
Yeah,
but just not as good as a Land Rover.
Yeah.
The best part is that
in every way,
old Elon in 2019 stated that the Cybertruck was going to be an appreciating asset. So
right,
yeah.
Once again, he has led us wrong.
Yep, big surprise.
Yeah, for the first 45 minutes of them being available in person,
for like 4 months,
you could have probably made money.
Yeah.
But then after that, people were like, oh, those are dumb.
Yeah, that sucks. Also, the guys.
Miles still says, Cybertruck, ew, because we've made it a game kind of like punch buggies. So whoever sees the Cybertruck first yells, Cybertruck, ew.
Nice.
Kind of fun. I'm waiting until his friend's dad or somebody has one. And he goes up and goes, Cybertruck, ew. And I'm like, I have to explain.
The guy's just like, oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing this.
I have an announcement to make on the Campfire Passport podcast.
Nice.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
I was literally
brought to you in part by Win Home Inspections.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we have hit the 250 YouTube subscriber mark, guys.
Hey, all right.
We're really killing it, We were at 249 for like months.
For a long time. Oh no.
Sometimes it's really hard to get that one. Yeah, 250,000.
I was there in single digits. Oh man.
I actually was looking at our some podcast like list thing, and we're still like number 133 of entertainment podcasts in not South Africa, but somewhere odd like that. So just so you guys know,
our numbers are really killing it over there.
Yeah, we're big. We're big over there.
Look at us.
I don't remember where it was. I should give them a fair shake, but
I know. What happens if you Google?
Hey, that means we're international.
Passport podcast.
That's right. We're very international.
We've known that we were international. We had a good group in China that was giving us a fair shake as well. Actually, way back when Sean and I were looking at it a while ago. Let's see what this tells me. No, Sean.
Hey,
I'm seeing South Africa.
Oh, I was okay. I thought I like mixed it up with something.
Right. Yeah, right there, Johannesburg, man.
Do you want to hear what Google AI has to say about us?
No, because it's usually wrong.
Campfire Passport Podcast is a podcast featuring solid friends, industry experts, and enthusiasts discussing overland and off-road topics. They cover topics like rig talks, trip recaps, and have informal, often humorous conversations. The podcast has been around since at least 2023. More details, it's focused on overland and off-road adventures, sharing insight from the host's personal experiences and discussing. The hosts are a group of friends that share a passion for overlanding.
That's true.
The format is conversations, and they're informal, and they often include humor, making it casual
We're
and
funny,
enjoyable.
guys.
You can find it on various platforms. Episodes examples. One of the best episodes is episode 80, Extreme with an X.
That is
was
not
recent.
That is not one of the best episodes.
I think it's probably just
That is
because that's probably
significantly
as it came up.
low on the list.
We have an IMDb.
What?
Great.
Guys,
Made it into the movies?
rough b-hole overlanding and off-road talks.
Great.
That's our IMDb is the option you can click on first.
Wow.
Yeah, look at us. All the podcasts are on here, though. Actually, if you scroll far enough. Wow. Guys, we've made it big time.
All right, Sean. Let's
Wow.
do your stolen idea.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is going to help us get some more traffic for sure because
Yeah.
everybody is familiar with 4-wheel drive 24/7 and
.com.
they have a weird podcast series, which isn't really a podcast that I've never really been able to get into, even though I really enjoy their content. I just wanted to say that. So if they listen, I'm so sorry that I said that. But but anyways, they on their little podcast thing, which is called Beers in the Shed. I want to plug them. You should definitely go see it. And I guess listen to
Yeah,
it. But
they
it's
need
on
all of our listeners
YouTube.
to go check
It's
'em out.
like you watch it. I don't think there's an audio only version. I've never seen one.
No,
No.
it's just YouTube.
It's
I
just a
think.
YouTube thing. Anyways, they do like what we do. They do like a just bullshitting with their friends podcast. And they had a subject recently, which was building out a rig for $1,500.
Certain price points.
Yeah, certain price points. And I'm going to kind of stick to their things. It was $1,500, $5,000, and $10,000.
Yeah.
And the premise really is that you start with a rig. It can be kind of any rig. Just try to keep it realistic, right? Like it just don't, you can, it doesn't have to be your rig. It doesn't have to be your dream rig.
We're starting with a used vehicle.
Just a used vehicle, right? And then you take that money and you budget in what you would do to it. So $1,500, I'll give you their example. Graham said he would do basically just maintenance, right? He would just do maintenance on it, make sure it was up to snuff. And he had a patrol is what he decided he had, did maintenance on it, and that was it. Shano decided he had an 80 series, natural fit for both of them.
What are the odds?
And then he said he was going to start with like a dual battery setup and a fridge. And that's what he wanted to have for his first modifications. The funny comment after that was that he wouldn't be able to afford the beer. So that was good. But anyways,
Hang on, back up. A dual battery and a fridge costs $1,500?
well, I mean,
I think they're using
I think a
Australian
Dometic
dollars.
fridge is
They're worth less.
$1,000, and
Yeah,
you know,
depending on the size, you could
a
be
good
into
battery
a fridge $1,000.
and we don't have to Jesse's game this. Like Mike, you can Sawzall whatever. Nobody's winning.
And they're
winning this.
also
Okay, so that
they're
means I
also
can
looking at
Facebook
like a
Marketplace
dual
this shit.
battery, like
Yeah,
a
like-
legitimate
like
dual
a Red
battery
Arc.
setup.
Yeah, like
is
a-
what he's
like a
looking
very
at, which
actually he
is
said in there a simple dual battery setup,
simple
not a
one.
crazy thing.
Also,
but still,
An Australian dollar is worth 64 cents
Yeah.
of US dollars.
yeah. So there is that. But I
they're-
still want to stick with this budget just because I think it makes an interesting thing. Anyways, the
Yeah.
next part of it is that you build off of that budget. So your previous modifications would be done already. So you're adding into that
Yeah.
experience.
So then the next budget
Is five
already include, or you already have this
the things you've already done.
your car that you had with the $1,500 investment. Now you're ready to make a $5,000 investment.
Yeah.
And so on.
So I've been in
Okay.
this position before, so I'm not getting an XJ. I'm going to start with a Raptor.
Well, here's the beauty. You can start with whatever. Nobody's winning. There are no
First
there are no
gen.
rules. The points
Yeah.
are made up. It does not matter. So
Yeah.
So I don't have to do math? Because this
no,
is great.
I mean, just off the cuff.
Rough
Yeah,
math.
go get the-
rough
go get the
math in your
whiteboard.
head.
But if you tell
you
me-
shouldn't
Go
need
get
the
the
whiteboard.
whiteboard.
I
Yeah.
don't think.
Let me back up. Mike can use the Sawzall, but if you start with, well, I'm going to do coilovers and tons for my $1,500 because I found them on I found the axles on Marketplace for $100 a piece, and I already have all the fabs. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. Yeah. Well,
You can install it
let's be
yourself,
fair and realistic.
but just be realistic. So,
Okay.
all right.
And then here's my last qualifying question here. Are we building a Overland? Are we building
Mike,
however
you can
use
build
it.
a Miata if you want. I don't care.
Oh, okay. I have one.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be run into the ground.
Oh, let me
when it
back
breaks
up. Let me
big
back
enough.
up. The only thing that I'm going to put on this, they didn't say this, but I think this is smart. They probably kind of meant it, is that it's a stock vehicle. You're starting with a stock vehicle.
Starting with stock. Yeah.
Right. Which in a Cherokee, again, would be very difficult
It's
to start
not.
with.
It's stock.
Damn
it. This
You just couldn't find
You know
one.
what? No XJs ever. XJs are banned from
find
all
one.
games.
You can always upgrade to a ZJ. There's lots of
There you
ZJs
go.
out
They're
there
both
that are
stock, yeah.
they're totally stock.
All right. Who wants
No,
to go first? Mike sounds like
I
he's
would
chomping
go
at the bit.
First, yeah. First gen, cheapest Raptor I can find.
Okay.
That would be what I would start with. Because I think if I was going to start.
It's fun again because once again, you've taken your dream and decided to find the best deal.
I think we're trying to be reasonable here. Yeah.
I like it. No, I appreciate what you're saying.
If somebody comes in over the top with a brand new Land Cruiser, I'm going to say,
that's what
no,
I'm
we're not
saying.
doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
This is we're
That's
getting
fair.
used vehicles.
I'm
actually mad because
most
I want the same thing.
reliable, a mechanically reliable, cheapest first gen Raptor I can find. It can have high miles, but as long as it's been well taken care of and that's the position I'm in, that's what I would start with.
Okay.
And then from there, it would be
$1,500.
Tires. So I got $1,500. I think I can fit 37s on that thing with trimming a little bit, and it'll just be at that point able to do quite a bit. No other mods yet. It'll fit 37s. I've seen people do it enough.
Mid-perch.
That would be my.
And that would pretty much be your budget right there
for the first. Exactly.
Just in tires
and a tank of fuel.
Tank of fuel.
But I think I would probably do not super aggressive, not super streetable, something in the KO or Wild Peak style of tire. It's going to be good at snow and
an all-terrain is what you're trying to say.
And
an all-terrain, not a mud terrain. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I would start.
I like it.
Okay.
Cool.
Who else? Who's next? That's my whole budget. I spent
He's done.
Mounted, balanced. Yeah.
So I will go with a 1985 22RE first gen 4Runner.
Okay.
Weren't they 22Rs?
Nope, an 85. 85, you could get the 22RE with the straight axle and the removable top.
Cool.
Okay.
So I would prefer to find one that's not molested too bad.
Good luck.
It's the hard
mostly
part.
stock.
So this is if we're gonna be kind of reasonable with used, I feel like I could find a not terribly wrecked and hillbillied out 4Runner for the same price of Mike's first gen 4 Raptor. So I think the first mods I would do would be I could do Chevy 63s because you can pick them up for $100 for the rear. Take the rear.
I mean, even new ones are like $300 for the set. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Super cheap for the rear. Shackles are made in your garage with 1/4-inch plate steel. I mean, so we could just bump that to $150.
We'll say $100.
$100. Then I can move the rear leafs to the front, and I could put 35s on it. And I'd say that's about $500. So now I'm up to $750-ish.
I mean, tires are $1,000.
Say tires.
We're buying new tires. We're just gonna say we're buying.
Tires.
Let's say new tires, because if you're buying used tires, it's too. Which they talked about this.
They did. It's hard.
It was like, and they made the comment of, you're gonna do a sidewall the first trip out because you bought used tires.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I've had that kind of luck on used tires.
I've had good luck and bad luck. Yeah. I had to change tires. I had to put my spare on the red Jeep multiple times.
Okay. So that puts me up to $1,100. Okay.
$1,200.
No. Yeah.
Okay. $1,200. So then I've got $300 left. What the fuck am I gonna do here?
Maintenance
I
on
would
that
assume beer.
Well, hold on. You're gonna have a
$300 in beer.
I think that going through and spending $300 on maintenance would be a really good thing, because then you could go through do the the burr fields and check the whole front end, check the rear end,
especially
seals
running
and
35s
gaskets.
on stock on what 410 gears in the front of that.
Yeah, I've run
with a squirrel under the hood.
I've run 38s under.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying you're going to want to do the maintenance. I'm not saying you can't.
Okay.
I'm just saying if you're going to run 35s with a stock gearing, you're going to want to.
There's my $1,500.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. It's one thing I didn't think about until I started listening to what you guys are saying is that I wasn't thinking about what the time frame is. So I'm just going to keep going with that. I don't know what the time frame is, but what I'm thinking about is a little more like build in stages, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mike's choice is really good, and my outside looking in, to use Colin's term, is actually a Gen 2 Raptor Super Cab. I really love the extra cab versions of those trucks. And again, like Mike, I'd probably find the cheapest one, right? Like the one with 120,000 miles on it, and I do maintenance. I don't think that's what I want to pick for this, but that is like definitely a really smart choice that I should pick.
Well, and don't do it because I'm already doing it.
And you're already doing it.
A lot.
Yeah, you better pick an XJ.
If all of us pick the same thing for this podcast, it'd be terrible, Sean.
I think where my mind's at right now, and maybe this is because I'm doing a little more city stuff and thinking about driving things all the time and trying to camp where possible. I think I'm looking for the most reasonably priced 200 series I can find. So like a 2010 with a bunch of miles, 170,000 miles or whatever, that's hopefully in good shape, but is probably mechanically sound and has some bruises on it. Not a Lexus probably, because I don't want to deal with messing with the suspension stuff that's like AHC and all those kinds of things. I just want like regular stuff. So I think 200 series, and I think my first thing would be really boring. I would just put the biggest tire I could on it, like a 33-inch, all-terrain of some kind, and do some maintenance, and that's probably my $1,500. Like, not doing much beyond that, and it's like a great driver, and I could cruise around in the woods if I want to, but like it's an all-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I struggle a little bit because
it's going to be
being,
a Land Rover.
being the Land Rover guy that I am. But I think I'm going to say a second gen or 2.5 Montero.
I knew it was going to be. I was going to say, tell me why it's a Montero.
I think it's a better. It makes for better podcasting.
Either the flare or the blister flare.
Yep.
Because I'm going to have a rear locker.
Yep.
Stock. That's great.
Got to pick a locker off the board, Colin. Sorry.
Got to take a locker off the board, So then I'd put the 300, it's probably $400 into the maintenance stuff, which I already know that world. I know how much I spent doing it on mine, so I know that it's like right there around $400 for doing the timing belt,
water pump,
upgrading the crank pulley bolt because those are known to break, things like that. Like just doing like all the little bits that are like known problem issues for those things. After that, I'm putting 35s on it with no lift because you can.
Yep. That's why I Raptor, because 37.
That would probably be the $1,500 price point right there. $1,000 to $1,200 in tires and $400 on maintenance. I mean, that's good. Then I've got a tank of gas and some beer, so I'm good to go.
So wait,
I'm into all of this. I just want a clarification from each of you. What tire goal are you looking at? So, like I said,
whatever
I was in the all-terrain, but you guys are building your rig. So, Sean, I'm
gonna tell you what I'm gonna do when I get to 2 steps from now.
Yeah.
Well,
you get to watch the progression of it.
Yeah.
Well, you said you put tires on it this time.
Yeah, because I'm still.
That doesn't mean you can't do it again.
Yeah, but I just don't know which tires you put on. I'm just interested to know. Did you go with 30 chunky, aggressive mud terrain?
33-inch all-terrain.
Okay.
Yeah, just all terrains.
Yeah.
Same.
It makes sense. I just
wanted winter. Oh, I thought I said that. Sorry.
Point it out. I just wanted to ask.
So Mike,
And then
before you
Jesse.
start, Jesse should elaborate on his tire, I suppose. But before you start
He
on
won
yours,
boggers, I think.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
No. Not doing boggers. No. If it was a square body, yeah, boggers, but no.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably do a mud terrain. Just, yeah, they're loud, but
Fits the build.
it fits the build.
Yeah.
So's the rest of the car.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. So are the fenders and the bed and
So Mike, before you start, so your $5,000 budget. I didn't put down a time frame, but it's been some time. Let's just, you're in your evolution of your build. You all of a sudden,
and now you've got 5,000 you
$5,000,
can reinvest.
burning a hole in your pocket, same truck, same parts that you've already upgraded. What's next?
So I'm already on 37s. I'm assuming mechanically I am in pretty decent shape.
You've used a lot of that money on fuel already.
Yep, I spent $5,000 on fuel, but I got a fuel card, and so the business covers it.
There you go.
I think I would probably try and find the cheapest cab over tent system. So a GFC that's used, or something like Colin got, the OVR land stuff or whatever. Isn't that what he got?
No, that's an AT.
AT
habitat.
Yeah, something like that. You can find them used in the
5.
It's pretty pushing it, but the
This is your
F-150
5 would be tough.
The F-150 short bed stuff I'm finding everywhere, and here I am with the long bed. So I'm telling you, I've seen them sometimes. It'd be waiting, it'd be figuring it out.
5's going to be tough to find one.
It wouldn't be the best one, and it wouldn't be the cleanest one, but they come up regularly enough. That would be my next thing. I would want it just to be comfortable to camp out of, and light enough that it doesn't really mess with the rest of the setup.
Jumping.
Yeah,
definitely can't jump it still.
Yeah, I'm not jumping it on this build. And the next build, though, the next step of the build,
you can jump on
little
stock.
jumps. We can do little jumps.
We're doing little jumps. Yeah.
All right. Jesse, are you doing parts research over there?
I'm doing parts research. No, I'm just kind of like mapping out everything I want to do.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying to think about how I can do this in realistic stages where, like, if I wanted to do a motor swap on it, like, I can't do dual cases ahead of time, because if I do a motor swap, that, W56 transmission can't take the power of a V8. So then I would be wasting money on dual cases up front.
Got it.
That's fair.
Well, but if you have the power of a V8 too, do you even need the second case?
Yeah,
we all need 2 cases.
Come on.
What we need to be doing, like our previous conversation of these people being talked into that they need sliders and bumpers and all this stuff, is we need to be bullying people into dual cases.
Dual cases, yeah.
That needs
dual
to
cases
be
and motor swaps. That should be the start of every build.
That should be the start point.
Oh man, nothing like dual cases. So on that point, I'd probably just go immediately to dual cases. I think that I could get that done for $600. That feels fair. You can find W56 transmissions with dual case setups already for $1,500. So I think I can get it for about $600.
Why don't we split the difference? $1,000.
$1,000? Oh, that kind of fucks things up here. Okay.
You said you think you can do it for $6.
I think I can.
But you see them for $1,500.
No, the whole transmission and case.
Right. I'll split you down the middle at $1,000 then.
Oh shit! All right.
I'll find $400 in your budget somewhere.
Jesse just said he wasn't going to do math, and here
now he's got to take beer off. He doesn't want to take the beer off. That's the problem.
So okay, dual case 22RE. I've done the maintenance that needs to be done. Bumpers, front and rear, $1,000. It's a first gen 4Runner. That feels very fair.
Trail gears are like right there in that 500 range for each one.
Yeah, or you're making it and you've got a bunch of time and money into it. Or time and money. Materials.
Time and materials. There you go.
Gears and lockers, $3,000.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like
easy,
that's more than fair, because you can find, because I can pick up e-lockers for about $400 a piece. And it's really easy to adapt those into the front or rear and just run the wiring. So I might be overestimating a little bit. Let's say I overestimated $300, then I could get the sliders that I wanted with the other $300 that got taken away from me for the dual cases.
Or you've got $100 for beer.
Or I got $100 for beer.
I mean,
so I'll take this. I'll keep the 3,000 for the gears and lockers, and I'll move the sliders for later.
Okay.
Because I don't give a shit. I can monkey up rockers.
Okay.
On 35.
yes.
Okay.
I think that I'm going to go way less scientific than Jesse. Surprise. Just kind of shooting from the hip. I think I'm doing the Overland crap at this point. So, a fridge, like a middle to upper level fridge, because I don't know, because I think that's going to be okay. And dual battery to accommodate that. Nothing crazy. Lead acid battery, smart relay. Nothing wild. And then a probably used rooftop tent of some kind. Not like $1,000 tent, like a $2,500 tent kind of thing. And then hopefully there's enough money in the budget, and I stumble on an ARB front bumper for a 200, so that I can put that on there. I think that's probably $5,000. If there's any money left, winch, but I don't think there's enough in there for a winch. So could I do the math? Yes, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, you'd probably. I mean, you might have enough in there for the Harbor Freight, a Badland, or something like that.
Yeah.
No, you can get a Vivo or
Probably.
Vio or whatever
that.
the thing I just bought.
Yeah. I'm like envisioning a used bumper costing me $800 to $1,000. Yeah, they're expensive, but and then maybe the bumper just the winch just kind of depends on the rest of it. But those basically like kind of the camping gear setup plus a bumper.
Yeah, I feel like the fridge and battery, you're probably like 1,000 total.
Yeah.
Between the two of those, like you said, tents probably like you could. $1,500 is probably
a reasonable tent.
That's what I tried to sell you my Mount Hood for.
I know I should have bought that after I bought
I
the
think
23-0.
I think your
Jesus.
fridge and battery can be cheaper. I mean, I just did a fridge, a lithium battery, and a shunt for under $1,000. It was $500 for the fridge off Facebook, and it was a brand new Dometic.
Wow.
I spent $200 on the battery and $100 on the shunt.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
maybe I'm getting a winch then.
So we're close to 1,000.
But I'm just saying, 1,000 is probably about where you'd end up, somewhere in that range. So
yeah, I think I got enough then. So okay, I'm comfortable saying winch in there. I'm finding deals. I'm trying to buy new where I can, but most of the time it's going to be used.
Yep. Okay. All right. So the old Montero.
Yeah, where are you going with that?
Where am I going with that? I think I'm in the same group as Sean there. I think I'm doing $1,500 used tent for the roof. And then I'm gonna mix and match a little here. I think gonna do sliders, which is gonna be $300. Because I know, again, I've done this before. So trail gears, I know which length fits, and it's the $300 set. So there's that. So that's $1,700 right there. So after that, wow, I actually have a lot of money left over. So I'm probably doing fridge and battery. So there's another 1,000. So there's $2,700. You know what? I might get, I think I'm going to go a little bit of lift. So at this point, especially, because we're hauling all the camping gear.
Well, yeah, you
got to do some suspension stuff.
OME
Adventure driven design springs and Bilstein 5100s, just super simple all the way around. And that is like $1,500. It's like pretty great because it's just two spring because they're torsion.
Yeah, just twist in the front.
So just cranking the arms in the front, but upgrade the shocks. So let's see. So I'm about $3,000 there. So they're a little over $3,000 at this point.
But now you can run a bigger tire.
I'm okay with sticking with 35s for now on the small amount of lift. So probably then I do a winch but no bumper.
Just build a plate between the.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's a Badland winch gonna like $500?
Yeah, you can get them for like $450 on sale, and then a winch plate is like $75. So.
Okay, so So there we go. So right around $4,000. So I got $1,000 left still. Boy, I'm struggling to find something to spend money on now.
Air compressor. It's really nice. Honestly, that's one of those mods that
you could do.
I've been sitting here writing down because, like being able to air down and air up with a compressor that's just in the hood or under the truck or whatever is really convenient.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you like your water kits too, though.
Oh, you know what? The boys on 24/7 they included this as well. So recovery gear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gonna have straps and snatch blocks and shit like that, and so yeah, I guess I'll do the air compressor, but I'll do that fancy Morphlate one that Sean got.
The thing is sweet.
So I don't know how much those are, but I'm sure
it's
like
not cheap.
$200. $200? Okay,
it might be more than that,
so
but not much.
$200 there, $200 on recovery gear.
Drawers, build out, kind of.
I don't know if I'm doing drawers in that thing yet.
Yeah.
Got the battery, got the fridge. Boy, yeah, this is. So now I'm running out of money, and
we haven't even
for like the next things. So, what would you do with that?
You have what? $300 left? $400 left?
Yeah, like $500, give or take.
Beer.
I mean,
just a lot of beer. You could do a swing out. You could do.
You know what? I'm gonna spend that $500 on fuel. Do a big long trip now that I've got it kind of set up.
All right.
Do a big old freaking.
Yeah, you got $500. You're doing
$500, and that
4 days, and
that thing gets 18 miles to the gallon, even with 35s. Like,
yeah,
I can do a week. I can take a week off of work.
Take a week.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, I like
go
that.
do a little trip in that. That's perfect.
All right. Okay. All right. So what's our next
$10,000? This
budget?
is the big
next
one.
threshold is 10
or finish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the finish.
This is the finale.
Yep.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. I'm gonna do an RPG off-road Raptor level 2 performance.
You pre-looked it up.
Yeah.
Yep. They're $12,000, but they have a scratch and dent that is available, and they do a military discount.
Oh my.
So I'm pretty confident I can get under that 10.
Just barely.
I'm pretty sure I could do it.
He's squeaking by just like that 10.
And it's uppers, it's steering, it's frame supports and Deaver rears, it's king shock coilovers in the front, external bypasses in the rear, and everything you need to make it all fit and work. It's like a full-on bolt-in, everything you need level 2 performance kit. That's the thing I think that I would do next. And I'm going to have like a comfortable place to sleep, but no cold beverages when I get there. But I figure being a guy with a Raptor,
you'll be the first one there, though.
Yeah, being a guy with a Raptor, I've got friends. You know what? A cooler is a cooler is a cooler. I can get by with that if I can jump my way there. I could take all the dirt
just
roads.
hopefully the lid doesn't come open and lose all your ice during the
and
jump.
I couldn't afford tie downs. I'm already
beyond the budget.
I'm already over budget, and I'm pretty stoked about this Raptor I have built. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay,
all right,
nice.
Dang, I'm going to take another page out of Mike's book because I'm going to do something not quite as equally silly, but I'm going to go to the silly part.
Are you skipping Jesse and talking about yourself first?
Is Jesse before me? He is before me. Yes, perfect. I can rethink this.
All right, now Jesse, what are you doing with your money
for my $10,000? So I'm doing 40s. It's turbo. Sliders, dual battery, and at this point I can afford the lithium with the shunt. A compressor. The Yankee Tuggy bag is what I like to call it. The recovery gear bag.
Okay.
winch, high steer, hydro steer, and with the money left over, I can buy a Miata and a cheap ass trailer.
I love it.
Yep, that's fair.
Oh, that's great.
It depends on how good a Miata you buy, though.
Yeah.
Because the prices on those are way up right now.
I could buy a pretty cheap Miata and still be happy. As long as it's an NA that runs and drives, I'll be happy.
So I spent $3,000 on an NA that did not run.
So it's probably going to be $3,000 on the Miata.
Yeah,
my Miata did not run or drive. I had to tell it.
You might not be able to get the trailer,
well,
but
so I don't need a
at
trailer
least you'd have the
because
Miata.
I could still get a little car trailer that just puts the
or
front
a dolly.
Yeah,
no, you do a side by side.
Yeah,
you
just
get one of
do
those
the
cheap
dolly.
side by side trailers for your Miata. It'll be under the weight
or
rating.
a tow bar.
Yeah.
Just flat tow that thing on a tow bar.
Yeah, there we go. I'd
Yeah.
probably put it on a car dolly so I could put the rear wheels up so it's not putting miles on the odometer as I drive it around.
You scrape your front lip on everything, though, because the nose on that thing sticks out.
It's
further than you
okay to
think.
be zip tied on, so I just cut the zip ties off and then throw it in the Miata.
Throw it in the back.
Oh my God.
Pull up the soft top. We're good to go.
Here's the thing. Sean and I have proven you can actually tow the Toyota with the Miata instead. We towed
You can't do
a
that.
4Runner. Oh, I sure did.
Wait,
I hooked up a 4Runner.
Do flat tow it?
Yeah.
Flat tow the
Okay.
4Runner
With my,
with Miata.
Because you can't car dolly 4Runners. Or
No.
You can't
We
car
flat
dolly
towed it
4Runners.
with the I don't know, style bar, because it wasn't really a roll bar in the back of my Miata, the one that Graham still has.
Nice.
We hooked up to it and towed it down from the alignment shop, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, all the way to the tire shop. It was great.
Well, that's my
old
dream.
garage
Honestly,
days.
I'm just sitting here
I like that.
thinking about my dream. Like, God damn, this is pretty fucking sweet. Why am I not
Something's
doing
going up
this?
for sale tomorrow.
Yeah, how come I haven't done all these things?
Well, probably because I don't have, was it $5,000 for the truck? Nah, let's say $7,000 for the truck.
Yeah, plus 16,500.
Yeah, plus think I can sell raw dog for that much? Nope.
Maybe.
Only if you're the one buying it.
Yeah, no.
You got to find Jesse again.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to sell raw dog and the crawler to do that, and I'm not selling those two rigs.
I mean, I
No
think,
way.
Yeah, you might be right.
All right, Sean, it's your turn finally.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't change my
hijacking your
thoughts
moment.
here. I'm just trying to kind of do the math just really loosely here, just like my other ones. But I think what I would do is the Stellar built route of Tundra front end parts, coilovers, like a Fox 2.0, nothing crazy, just like a reasonable coilover, matching rear shock, and just regular lift springs. So I can do 37s, and then up to a 37-inch all-terrain with a like bead grip style wheel, no bead locks, but into that. And then that should leave me enough money to do some lights, just like a couple of spotties on the front bumper.
Gotta have the spotties on there,
Yep.
mate.
And then a rear locker, I think, is the thing. I think that would sneak in there pretty easy and probably have enough money left over for like the miscellaneous crap we were talking about, like the recovery gear and the regular portable air compressor.
So I'm glad you guys have all that stuff.
Not a re-gear, probably.
Yeah, Mike's gonna have to borrow it from all of us.
I probably should have re-geared.
Mike, I can support
budget,
you, and I'll sleep in your
I have
camper.
friends. Yeah, perfect.
Just don't overheat me with your 8K diesel heater.
Oh, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I hijacked you again.
I did tell you to
that.
put your feet there instead of your face, though.
Yeah, well, so much for drunk Jesse listening to anything.
Not gonna happen.
It was great. You woke up and your lips were chapped. Your face was...
All right. Montero is looking pretty good right now. I think that now is the time
LS swap it.
to take it down.
Tons of 40s.
Yeah.
Now's the time to take it down to Toasty and have him put a Dana 44 under the front So Dana 44 with a locker, and coilovers, and I'm allotting like $4,000 for that. I feel like that's. I mean, I'm gonna spend probably $2,000 in coilovers. You can get a 44 for like
for
$500, like or less.
I've been fine unless you have to modify it because you have to narrow it.
I would get a Wagoneer one, so I wouldn't have. I would not have to narrow it. That's the correct width.
Seeing those $400 or $500
so,
all over the place, yeah.
And then $1,000 for a locker, and then a couple $100 for gears, which I don't have to re-gear the back because it's already got 490s in it. So I'm just gonna stick with 490s.
Mm-hmm.
Call it good. So I feel like right there.
And then you're gonna supercharge it?
No.
Oh darn.
No. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna put 40s and bead grips on it. So I'm looking at $3,000 there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in at like $7,000 now.
$2,000 because I just found those 40s for Mike that he didn't buy. It was $2,000.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna buy. I'm still not gonna buy used ones though.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
I'll accept that I'm gonna buy new tires.
You can almost do that still though, because we found it was like $1,300 for the. It's like $1,300 shipped.
For the X
for the Arturo Trail Blades,
the land spiders.
Some ling longs.
I'll
get a reputable.
Okay,
40.
all right. Well, I'm just saying.
And by reputable, I don't mean Patagonia.
Yeah, you're not running Pats. You're not running ling longs. No land spiders.
Yeah. So at that point I'm locked front and rear, 40s, solid axled. So I've got a few grand left.
Buy a Miata.
Nitrous?
I think with that few grand, maybe that's when it's time to kind of do like a simple rear cargo build out, like, cheap drawer type setup, nothing crazy,
Slider
but like,
fridge.
just something
Water.
like that. So maybe another $1,200 there. And then I think after that, I spend whatever it takes of what I've got left to do the Jeep transfer case conversion with doubler, because the transmission just needs a different tail housing from a Jeep.
It's an AX.
It's it's the AW.
AW, okay.
And that allows me to bolt up a Jeep transfer case to it, which means that I can then put the cut in half transfer case like we're doing with Tyson's on for a doubler, and it's still shorter than the factory transfer case on those.
Really?
Yeah, pretty wild.
That's a big boy.
So that way I've got a doubler in it as well, and
then drive shafts.
And then it just needs drive shafts, and I probably still have some money left over, and I'll go on another trip.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fun. Amen. You and I are the only ones that ended up with solid axles.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Those are gonna ride like shit,
I was gonna start with.
I don't know, with King 2.5s, it's gonna ride pretty fucking nice, I think.
Yeah. You should actually ride a Raw Dog. It actually rides pretty damn good for tons and 40s.
Leaf springs.
And leaf springs.
What you need to say in that is leaf springs.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's because the rubber in your tire is part of your suspension.
Yeah.
Yep, you got 100%. That much tire.
That's why I put 40s on my 4Runner.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Raptor would be a blast, and I know that I'm not going to be able to get out if I get stuck, but you guys would all be watching when I do all my dumb stuff, and so I feel like I'd have a friend
that's pretty good.
Close enough.
I'd be way too light to help you out, buddy. You just
you got a winch.
Just pull my 4Runner. Hey!
Oh, I like this part.
It's time.
I'm gonna get something out of the fridge though first.
All right, well, it's time for everybody's favorite game show.
Is Mike gonna pee? Is that the game show?
No, he's getting a water out of the fridge.
Mm.
Where shall I start? I have 4 lined up for us today.
Oof.
The most taillights.
Most taillights. That's an interesting. So if they've got more than 2, which is fair because sometimes they've got bumper lights too.
The reason I bring it up is
split.
I was listening to the podcast when Aaron got to choose, and I was following a truck that had 6 taillights. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a fun way to go about this.
They're all the same on taillights, guys. So we're gonna need a different. Yeah, we're gonna need a different.
How about tailpipes? Exhaust, like how many exhausts ports they have
outlets?
Out the back. Yeah, exhaust outlets.
So you're wanting most?
Yeah, start from the most to the least. I've never really seen more than 4. I guess that's not true. I just saw I just saw a 21.
They're all the same.
21 window.
How about most cylinders?
Most cylinders. Okay, that we can probably do because let's see, this thing is.
And sorry to complete
and
my
anything
statement.
that's tied goes by displacement.
I saw a VW bus with a rotary out of a plane in it that had 6.
Oh, that is a radial, not a rotary.
Yeah, radial, not a rotary.
Sorry, did I say rotary? Sorry, radial.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was Myers Manx
really
is building cars that have. I'm trying to say rotary engine now.
Come on,
I know. Sorry, I screwed you up. I screwed myself up.
A radial 3-cylinder. And it's kind of cool. The radial they're using uses like LS valve train parts and stuff. It's kind of cool.
That's really cool. That's for Sean's Volkswagen podcast.
So is this
no
the one with the radial?
That's a more than first gen Raptor.
All right, so this is a 03 150 Super Crew. 5.5 foot bed. No surprise there. 7,900.
It's not bad.
Open to trades with cash on top. Rebuild engine. More info in the pictures. Clean title. 4x4. External res kings all around. Mid-travel. Uniball upper control arms. Upgraded torsion bars. And trailing arms. New brakes, cooling system, and steering components. Drove it up from Southern California, no problem. Has the 2V, so 2-valve, 5.4 Triton, Ford 9 3/4 rear end. Front passenger shock needs rebuilt. And AC is not functioning. We know a guy. Needs a new vacuum hose.
Is it Tyson?
Maybe. All the geometries for the front suspension and steering have been taken care of. Handles great off-road. All the original paint is in great condition. Flared fiberglass fenders, custom bumpers with skid plates and off-road lights. Let me know if you have questions. So let's start at the front here.
That's a lot of pictures.
Yeah. So he's got the dumb light bar over the windshield.
But he's got fiberglass.
But it does have glass.
Yeah.
It also looks like it might have a bed cage. No, it doesn't. But it's got trailing arms. That's crazy.
So he's got a front bumper, big trailing arms, but remember, it still is torsion.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
In the front, which is interesting. But due to the rest of the stuff he's done, it might not be terrible to throw coilovers in there. But I mean, I don't know the long travel setups in these well enough to
me either.
Say for sure.
And I mean, if it's tuned right and shocked right, torsion can get you pretty far.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That front bumper shouldn't be offensive, but something about that bumper in that truck is not doing it for me.
It's not right.
It's not quite right, yeah.
It looks like a manta ray.
Also not a fan of his hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's me.
That's just taste stuff, though. And
I
think
nice
you can
shock
find
up
another
front.
gray hood.
Okay, so we got, it's just the same
rebuilt
information.
New gaskets,
upgraded
new heads.
torsion bars.
Ooh, heads, cams, and timing chains.
Okay, rear runner, K&N, Flowmaster.
Is it 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it 4-wheel drive?
Cool.
It is.
Huh.
Interior looks kind of how
Yeah.
all the interiors look in these.
Yep.
Not terrible.
He's got pictures of the engine torn down.
I mean, that thing's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
I'm in a yes mood. I'm gonna say yes.
I think
I know which one is it.
Found it.
I think I'm also a yes. So real quick story time. My mom had a, I don't know, fiance or boyfriend or whatever when I was in high school that had one of these that was red. It was just bone stock and it was brand new. It was a cool truck. And I just like
Yeah.
at that point in my life was like, whoa, this thing is brand new and so cool and it has leather and the back window opens with a switch.
Quick story.
But they're cool.
Off of your quick story. My dad had an OBS 7.3 4-door or so long bed OBS F250 that he brought into a tire shop here in Bend, and it was some sort of like Midas or one of those like the do-it-all tire shops, and they put it up on the lift because it was like clean and a cool OBS. Although they did not need to put it on the lift. He was just in there for like, I don't remember what it was, an oil change or something silly. And they got it up on the lift and they left it up on the lift for lunch. And they came back and they had dropped it off the lift and it landed on the front driver's corner. And it's like there's video of it. Like there's cameras that showed when everybody left and they left it up on there and they did not secure it well enough and it fell down and fell off. So my dad bought a brand new F-150 4-door. It was like green with a stripe similar, like lower stripe like that, but I don't remember what color it was. And it was like they had a tonneau cover and they threw in all kinds of stuff.
Probably gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
I feel like on the green, it's usually gold.
Oh, yeah, like
it could have been
Eddie
silver,
Bauer
but
style.
a lot of time it's Eddie Bauer.
It was a similar stripe, but I don't remember what color it was. So probably gold would make sense because it was like. I remember thinking, like, holy crap, we got into a fancy rig because it was leather front and rear and heated seats. And but anyway, that's because they dropped my dad's OBS off of a lift. Bought him a brand new truck. He was pretty mad. And then they went to the dealership and said, find the one you like and get some accessories. And he goes, okay.
Yeah, I think being as it's the 5.4 Triton, but it has been gone through, so I assume that they,
there's 20,000 miles on that
they dealt with the spark plug threads and
bigger,
whatnot. So, and it is a cool truck. It's on its way. I wish it didn't have that hood, but I think I'm in as well.
All right.
As much as I want to like it, there's just a handful of things that I don't like. And it's
Fair enough.
The bumper, the hood, and I've always hated the taillights on that generation.
Yeah, they remind
me.
I will say they're pretty close to the ugly Tundra.
Yeah,
taillights.
they remind me of the Tundra.
They're just a slightly better version.
Bed. God, I can't. It's just there's just something about them I just never really liked. If it was a tray bed, I'd be 100% in, but it's not. So,
well, I mean, you could replace that bed with a glass
you could glass the bed.
Yeah, but that's not the point of this game, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like, I don't want
no, you don't have to
you
keep
can
it the
view
same forever.
You can view it as
you can like the.
I don't want to work that hard.
Well, that's fair too.
I don't want to work that hard. So therefore,
that's
I'm
okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always played this game with like I can see the potential and I would continue, or I would undo this or that, or I don't know.
No, I have played it like that before. I just don't want to play that game with this one. I don't want to work that hard tonight.
Great.
Fair.
Good.
I already worked hard on building out my Forerunner.
That's right.
And I didn't. I paid a shop to put.
Wait,
Sean?
Did you say you were in or out?
Yes.
Next,
I said
93.
I would pay.
We've got a GMC Jimmy Typhoon.
Yes, again. I'll say it one more time, as many times as you want me to say it.
Testing waters, no trades, unless it's an 87 Grand National or a 62 to 64 Impala SS.
Ooh,
boy. So we've got number 1095
I know.
in double frost white, only 535 made in this color, 84,800 miles, and clean title. Truck is completely stock beside exhaust and air filter. Front suspension and new brakes have just been done. A lot of capitals. New rear sway bar, ! It's currently on Corvette C5 wheels. Stock wheels included. Interior is in great condition. No tears on the seats. Dash is cracked, which is common on these. Asking 27. Please don't waste my time, and I won't waste yours. Smiley face.
Also, you said it wrong. Which is common on these.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You did put an exclamation point there.
Yeah, there's a lot of capitalizing every word and a lot of exclamation points in this one. Plus, the emoticon, like exclamation points.
Wow.
Like
smiley faces.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. Apparently,
about his rig.
Yeah.
He's trying to sell it to a Corvette owner by saying it's one of 500 or whatever.
So there's it with the Corvette wheels, which I'm not a fan of.
No,
I like it with the stock wheels better.
C4 Corvette wheels might have been the move on that one.
I could see this if it was like these are my winters.
Don't drive that in the winter. It's a collector's item.
I mean, maybe once.
It's all-wheel drive
before they put the gravel down. You know,
yeah. That would be a hoot in the winter.
Go out and spin around a little bit, and then tuck it away.
That would be so much fun all winter. I'm so yes, and I would drive the piss out of it.
Yeah, I'm into.
As long as
it's not
comes
so clean,
with a
you
pack
can't.
Of Marlboro Reds, I'm
Yeah.
I'm totally game.
It's cool. It's clean enough, but it's not so clean you can't drive it. It's perfect.
I love it. It's so cute. It's so cute. I'm not a huge fan of those C5 wheels. Is that what he put on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly.
Should have kept the stock wheels.
They would have been fine in silver even.
Well, it comes with the stock wheels, so you just put those back on.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if anybody's done a
stock
Turbo
wheels in a
4.3
pack.
Enemiata.
God, that's a terrible idea, Mike. Those did not make that
Isn't
much
it?
power.
I know, but wouldn't it sound cool?
No, they don't even sound that cool.
Why tear apart?
I've never heard a Typhoon or a Cyclone and been like, no.
Well, Sean?
Oh, yeah, of course I'm a yes. How could I say no?
Yeah. I could see Dale in the front seat of that thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
His little dog face rolling out the window, just like, lop, lop, lop.
He likes to go fast.
Yeah,
you do it like a reverse Earnhardt livery, so it's white instead of black, but you.
All right. 97 Mazda Bongo Friendly camper van.
Screen.
You're not sharing anymore.
What?
Yeah, no sharing.
What do you mean it's not sharing anymore?
We're just looking at each other now.
Yeah. What? I said share this screen.
And then you yelled bongo, and I got excited.
It's a bongo. Yeah. Wait for it. It's a bongo. Here, I'll start the video back over.
Oh, man, that bongo is tall.
Right. Yeah. It's a high top Japanese camper van, Sean. Can't you see? It says it right there on the first line.
Oh, okay.
67,000 original miles. 97 high top, 67,000 miles. Odometer reads in kilometers, of course. This is a Japanese domestic market camper with right-hand drive steering.
It is so cute.
A V6 gas engine and an automatic transmission. Camper has fiberglass high top conversion, allowing a person to stand straight up while using the kitchen area, but converts to a large sleeping area that can comfortably fit 2 adults. This also comes with a sink, gas stove, hood vent, lots of storage, and a furnace.
Look at that radio.
Mechanically sound with new tires and ready for summer road trip.
Man,
asking $13,950.
That's kind of a deal.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I hate to.
Other than the paint is kind of fucked on the passenger side.
No, you wrap it with anime girls. You wrap the whole thing.
Does it?
Yeah, the paint's not the greatest.
Oh yeah, I see it
when
now.
It shifts. It goes. Oh,
and I like that it's also it's the van with the extra butt.
Yeah,
and the high top.
Yeah, it's a full experience.
And it's got a big ladder. No widow ladder for this thing.
Yeah,
no, that's got a full-size
ladder.
It's a usable ladder. Yeah,
with an awning and storage above.
It's cool.
Yeah, I could see driving the family down to the redwoods in that thing. That'd be fun.
Can't fit through the tree though.
The redwood.
I would try and get it onto the Alvord.
It would go onto the Alvord.
Yeah.
Comfy doing it.
Hell yeah.
I'm
multiple beds. Look at the headliner.
I know. I love it.
That is a pattern. Can we start the full podcast over so I can use this as my base for my
Oh my God.
$10,000.
So
It's even got windows with blinds on it up in the bed area.
It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
Yeah,
I
those are
love this.
rad. This whole thing is rad. I'm so yes. Yeah.
I think I'm yes because it's called a bongo.
I really do like the name.
The name bongo friendly is great, or friendy. Bongo friendy.
This is freaking
Yeah.
great.
And it's a great little Mazda. So you know it's reliable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fun.
probably so it's got a V6 in it, so it's probably
Is that-
and at a 97. I bet you it's the same V6 that was in the Ford Pro.
Yep, definitely.
Oh yeah. I wonder if anybody's put one of those in a Miata.
Oh my God.
I love the color scheme on it. It's so good. Like the purple,
Yeah.
the headliner.
Whoa.
Things are going great.
I'm a no.
Oh,
I know.
God,
I like it, but
Sean.
I don't want it. I still the thing with the JDM van thing. Like, they're cool. I don't want one. Maybe my
All
tune
right.
will change one day, but for
Yeah,
today,
maybe.
no.
I don't want a JDM
Yeah.
van, but I do
For somebody
want...
who says he's a real big van guy,
I am. Big
he has
van.
never said he wants one of the vans that we talk about.
What kind of doors do these have? Do you think these have van
This
style?
probably has van doors.
style
on it,
doors?
yeah.
Yeah. Van style doors.
Yeah.
That was the
That's the thing. Van style doors.
Van style.
the van
doors.
style doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last, but obviously not least.
Ha!
Oh man. Look
So
at that.
this,
Has.
you might have thought it was something else, but
It's so
this is a
cool.
Mazda AZ
The
off-road.
Mazda has.
So it's just like a Suzuki because it's built by Suzuki.
Oh, really?
It's just like a Jimny.
It's a
Solid
Jimny.
axles, front and rear, radius arms, links, coil shock suspension. These little pint-sized 4x4s, real off-road beasts. So we forgot an R. Features power mirrors, AC,
Ooh.
dual airbags, fog lights, power windows, automatic hubs, and a stock head unit.
What year is
Powered
this
by
thing?
the K6A dual overhead cam turbocharged intercooled fuel injected engine, 3-speed automatic. Oh, it's an automatic, so even the wife can drive it. With overdrive, running a divorced chain driven 2-speed transfer case. Commute to work in style and hit the trails with confidence on the weekend.
Yeah,
I like it.
100%.
3 cylinders,
I
3
like it.
gears.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also in on that one.
Yep.
Come on, radius arms.
Can we
solid
start
axle,
over-
front end? Yeah.
Can we start the podcast over so that I can use this as my base now? I've changed my mind again.
Now this is a Miata
Easily
swap I
swayed.
can get behind, Mike.
This is fucking sweet.
Yeah. it's
Oh, that's
super.
rad.
Imagine case swapping that thing.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah. Case
Just
swap
rev
that.
limiter everywhere.
Oh, with 40s.
Miata swap it.
Let's put a lesser
Yeah,
motor.
take my
Little
1.6 liter with no power, put it in there.
Well, it's
And then
got a
push it down a hill.
1.2 with no power now, so
Well, at least they have a turbo.
Oh man, this thing is great. And I
It's
even
super
love
nice
so
too.
good.
It's in
That interior,
great shape.
the seats are rad.
Yeah,
Now,
the
dog
dog
has been in
matches.
it.
The dog
but
matches the seats, though. You'll never notice.
he's
might be a
camouflaged.
little bit of a wear on the wear mark on the driver's seat there,
That's light.
Yeah,
I don't
but
believe it.
not terrible.
Wow, that's
cool.
so cool.
by the way, Mike,
Oh.
it is a 658cc turbo engine that makes up to 63 horsepower.
Perfect.
Up
Don't
to.
give a
Okay.
shit.
All right.
Look at
So
that.
it makes the
look at
same
that
amount of power as
departure.
my 1.6.
Look at that departure angle. Look at that approach angle.
Thing is awesome.
Like,
Like
there-
zero overhang.
You go up in
Yeah.
tire size and you're pushing tires out front of the car.
oh man, take the Sawzall to that thing and put some 40s on it. Baby, we got a stew going.
You'd
Perfect
run out of
touch.
car though. You'd have to cut the whole car off to fit 40s.
Yeah, they'd be so close together. You'd
Yeah,
They'd
but-
rub in the
They
middle.
look like a shirt.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's solid axles, so how hard would it be to actually just push the axles forward and back?
pull their radius arm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't even think you'd need to. I think you went up to 35s. The tires would stick out in front of and behind the vehicle. All four corners would be tire.
Honestly, I think I would just drive it like that for so long.
Yeah.
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 It'd be too fun.
It's just
Yeah, I keep it just
it would
like
be
this.
such a fun little,
Oh man.
just like whatever.
everything.
Look
Yeah.
at
Yep.
Mazda making two of the greatest vehicles on the face of the planet. You just smile when you get into them. Miata
And
and
the cool van.
AZ off-road.
And the bongo van.
Oh yeah.
And the bongo friendy.
Yeah, the
Bongo
bongo
Don't forget
friendly.
that.
friendly.
Plus there's RX-7s.
Has everybody said yes yet? Because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
yes.
Everybody said yes
All right.
right away.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
how can you not say? I don't know if I'd be friends with you guys if you didn't say yes.
Jesse just stops coming on the
Oh
podcast.
no, I would immediately hang up this phone call.
Leaves.
I guess.
Adios.
Adios.
I'm going to buy an AZ off-road. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, what was the price on that again? Is it already gone?
I've still got it up. Let me go back to it. It was $12,499.
Yeah. Yep. I take out a loan.
Think I can sell
I'd
the
make
Land
payments.
Cruiser for that?
Just put your
Just
wife
go-
and
just
kids
go trade it in.
Hey, Anna, let me tell you.
I know you love
Just
the
a-
color blue, honey. Look
Yeah.
at what I
Imagine
got.
the mileage savings.
Yeah, didn't
Oh,
you like
man.
your Mazda 3 that one time
Oh
you
yeah,
had one?
she loved her
She's
Mazda.
a Mazda person
There
already.
you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's how you sell it.
Ah,
Let's get
This
you
one's
back
just an
into a
SUV.
Mazda.
Yeah. Smaller SUV. It's smaller than your
It's
your
smaller
hatchback.
than the wagon was you had,
Yeah.
but you know,